And good afternoon, everyone. It is 1 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, and it's time for Cat Chat with Penny. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about this problem. Is it better for a cat to be strictly indoor, or to be allowed indoor-outdoor, or do they do better just being outdoor cats? It's a huge debate. A lot of people have some very, very strong opinions about this. And I'm going to touch on my feelings about it today. But first, I just want to say hello. It's Cat Chat with Penny, and Penny is me. I am Penny. And once a week, I hop on the interwebs here and talk a little bit about this or that related to cats. And I will tell you that I am no expert. I'm not a professional. I don't have certifications. I'm not a veterinarian. I'm not a behaviorist. But I have a lot of cats because I run Mew Mew House, which is a retirement home and hospice for cats, basically a nursing home for cats, and I spend a lot of time with cats. So what I tell you is based on my experience. When I go live, I like to know who's watching and from where. So if you are so inclined, please feel free to comment. If you're watching live, hashtag live. If you're watching this later, hashtag replay. And tell me where you're watching from, because I like to know how far my reach is. But today, I want to touch on the indoor-outdoor debate with cats. And this is a difficult one. There's lots of opinions, and it's challenging, and some people get really, really upset. If I post a single photograph of a cat that's outside, there's at least one person who's going to lose their mind. And then there's somebody else who's going to lose their mind right back, saying, well, now. Anyway, so pros and cons. So let's talk about pros and cons. Why should your cat be indoor? Why should your cat be outdoor? And we have these opinions, and what's the reality? Okay. So the best argument for cats being strictly indoor is that they're safe. There's cars out there, there's people. Where I live, so little Sid, who we lost earlier this year, he had pellets in him. Somebody shot him. In this part of the world, people shoot at cats that are outside. People intentionally run them down in their cars. Some pretty awful things that people do. And I mean, it's astounding what people can do to cats if they're outside. So there's good reasons to keep them inside. Also, they tend to fight. Although I will tell you right now, keeping them inside doesn't protect them from fighting. But there are other cats, there's other animals, foxes, coyotes, eagles, other things, all kinds of risks to be outside, not to mention illnesses, disease, and whatnot. But by being indoor, the argument is that if you keep them inside, then they don't experience being a cat, because as domesticated animals, I will tell you, cats are probably not the most domesticated of our pets. I mean, dogs are dogs. They maintain their puppiness for a really long time, whereas cats are wily, and they're cats. So if we keep them inside, then we're preventing them from doing cat things. And they're not living their life to the fullest. Plus, but and then, again, you can go back and forth. Well, if you let your cats out, they're going to decimate all the birds. And they will. I've watched it. They'll also go after squirrels and chipmunks and, God knows what else. But if they're inside, there's mice and things that they can get into. So what really is the best thing? So I'm here to tell you that there's no cut and dried answer, and I'm not going to tell you what to do. All right? I I understand. I am an advocate of cats being strictly indoor because there are dangers out there. And I mean, there's risks with them being outdoor. They can get injured, you can't help them. They tend to live longer if they're indoors. And, that's kind of what I'm in the business of doing. And so on. And plus, if you're going to have a pet, then shouldn't they live with you? But I also have, if you saw my brief live earlier today, I have 4 cats that are cunning enough to know how to get the dogs to open the dog door for them so they can go outside. Now, I have 2 huskies. The huskies are very cat friendly. The cats don't necessarily like the dogs, but that's okay because there's a gate in the house and the cats can choose whether or not they interact with the dogs. But 4 of my cats will sit next to the dog door, which is one of those cool electric ones with the key that's on the dog collar. And they will sit there and wait for the dogs to come and unlock the door, and then boop, out they go. So what am I supposed to do? I could, of course, just do away with the dog door and keep it locked, so the cats are stuck inside. But then I have to walk the dogs, which, again, that's what responsible pet ownership is. My challenge is that I have huskies and it gets cold in the winter here. And I'm going to be honest, I don't want to walk them when it's 20 degrees outside. They're living their best life when it's 20 degrees outside. And I'm like, holy crap, it's cold. So, no. No, they like having the option to go in and out whenever they please. It works well for the dogs. And which is great because I mean one of my dogs, Scout, like if it's anything above 40 degrees, he's dying of heat. So it's really important that he be allowed to be outside and just lay out there. And I can't. It just is not. I get cold if it's anything below 75. So we have this little conflict. So what do I do then? I could police the cats a little bit better, I suppose. But the other side to that is that I have cats that are smart enough to manipulate the dogs to do what they want, which we know cats are smart. But I also have at least one of my cats that goes in and out. If I try to keep him inside, 2 bad things happen. One is he starts to pee on everything, which it's a cat thing. Okay, I accept that. I this is a problem. He is the kind of cat who's just like, I'm in charge. But the other thing that happens is he starts beating up the other cats. I mean, I love him. I'm not going to name names because I do love this cat. But he can be a jerk. And for him, the best thing is to give him the option to have the space. Most of the other cats in the house, they're older, they want to just chill out, relax, do cat things. But, and they're happy to sit by the fire or in front of the TV or next to the heater when it's wintertime, or look out the windows where it's safe. But this guy needs to go out. He just has to go out. I have another cat who was a former mouser. That's what he did. He lived in a warehouse. That's what he did. He was a working cat. And to make him stay inside, he's smart enough to get the dogs to open the door. Okay. So what do I do? Am I a bad cat owner because my cats do sometimes get out? I don't know. I keep my tabs on them. They come in. They come when I call. They don't go far. My neighbors know about them. Nobody's been shooting at them. So, okay. And then what do we do about things like barn cats and colony cats? The feral cat community cats. What do we do with those? In those cases, the best thing you can do is to have them neutered and then, let them go back because they're never going to be, or they may be, but it's going to be difficult to get them to be cuddly, friendly cats, but you can certainly protect them. So, what's best? I will tell you that my cats that get out and go out, they come back with injuries sometimes. Little scratches, bruises, limping. They've been in a fight. And what do I do for them? I make sure that they are vaccinated against the kinds of things they might pick up. that they can be vaccinated against. So they have their feline leukemia vaccine. So I don't necessarily vaccinate the other cats because they don't go out. And I keep my eyes on them and I talk to them and I check them and make sure that they're okay. So, if I had my druthers, however, none of my cats would ever go out. I prefer them to stay in. It's possible that I'm rambling today, but it's important. I think this is important, and I want to stress this with the Cat Chat with Penny group. Make sure everybody understands who might be watching. I do know we've had a whole slew of new members, and almost all of them say the biggest conflict that they have or challenge they have with their cats is this debate about should they be strictly indoor or should you let them be indoor outdoor. And because some people have such strong opinions, I mean, I've had some pretty snarly comments thrown at me because, like I said, because I'll let a cat be outside. And some of them, my other cats, I do let them be out supervised. So how awful am I? And in the Cat Chat with Penny group on Facebook, if anybody gets snarly, snarky, rude, inappropriate about their opinion on this matter, I'm going to shut them down right away. Because there is actually space for discourse here. Not every cat does well as an indoor cat. Now, if we get them as kittens and we raise them right, then being strictly indoor cats can be wonderful and fulfilling for them. I mean, if they have a huge house and places to go and places to hide, perfect. But some cats, like, let's say Arthur Dent, not the character, my cat, Arthur Dent, he was a community cat. He was a TNR. TNR stands for trap, neuter, return. But when he was trapped and neutered, he was found to have some health problems. He had a broken jaw. And he just wasn't ready to go back. He wasn't going to do well going back. But he still is. He's pretty feral still. So he's not the kind of cat who's ever going to make somebody's cuddly pet. I mean, he does fine in this house because he gets along with the other cats, but he's not too keen on me. So we do the best that we can. We let our cats go out as they need, if they need to. If they do fine without being let out, then probably the best thing for them is to make them be indoors. Ask them to be indoors. It's easier to care for them that way. But if they need to be out, then they're going to be out. And if you have working cats, barn cats, then what you do is you provide for them the best shelter you can so that they can live their best life and still be outside cats. I have on my porch, I have cat houses, cat shelters on the porch. I feed, offer water in the wintertime for the cats that need to be out. People dump cats out here all the time. It's really depressing. We do the best we can. Exactly, yes. All I see is Facebook user, but it's true. There's no one-size-fits-all solution. It depends completely on where you live and what your needs are and the personalities of your cats, right? If your cat needs to be an outside cat, if it's just not going to do well inside, then you provide shelter outside. If it's going to do well as an indoor cat, great. If you live in the city where there's lots of traffic, then you do everything you can to keep them in. And I know that one of my friends I was messaging with earlier, you can do things like invisible fence, and it does work for some cats. And that's something I may attempt with my property here. I'm kind of in the middle of nowhere. I've got 2 acres, but I can make them a space where if an invisible fence worked, then I would just keep them on the property. For the most part, the ones that don't go far either. Let's see here. Benoit writes, would a catio be something you'd ever try out? Yes, actually. So I do have a catio, and I'm planning on screening my other porch. The cats enjoy the indoor cats. enjoy getting fresh air on the catio. They actually really love it. So catio, for those of you who don't know what this is, a catio is sort of, it's a patio. It's a screen porch, but for your cats. So you put cat things in there, and it could be just your patio. And having a screen porch and a space for your cats to go where they're outside but still safe is an awesome solution. Incredible solution. If you can do that, awesome. I have learned, this is what I find just like mind blowing, that some HOAs, homeowners associations, these or neighborhoods have rules, will not allow you to put up a catio. It's like, what are you gonna do then? You just not have cats? Okay, you're all right with your cats running around the neighborhood? I don't understand. But catios are incredible, and if you can do that, awesome. So the dog door that I talk about is actually goes out from a screen porch. So a lot of the cats, there'll be, 6 cats on the porch, and 2 of them will be waiting by the dog door, and the others are just like, glued to watching the birds outside. And that's what they want. But some of them want to feel the grass beneath their paws and things. And I am working on plans for an outdoor space that may be sheltered, um, like a cat run. People talk about that, and I'm thinking something similar to a chicken run that people do with, fencing at the top so they can't get out, but they can still walk on the grass. There's so many things you can do, but in the end, this isn't a one size fits all solution, and we can argue until our faces are purple. And I think I've been just doing a lot of rambling today. But because this is such a hot topic, I feel like it needs to be addressed, and I'll probably wind up addressing it again. There really is no one right way to do this. It really depends on so many things, including the personality of your cats, where you live, your circumstances, and everything else. What's most important for all of this, though, the one thing we all have to do, we have to agree to do whatever we choose to allow our cats to be indoor, outdoor, keep them strictly indoor, is when you take on a cat as a pet, you take responsibility for their health. So if your cat's indoor or outdoor, then you pay attention. There are risks out there, and if they show up one day with a cut, then you know you're taking them to the vet, or you're cleaning it up, or doing what you need to do. And that's probably the most important thing. And I find that even my ornery old I want to be outside cats um, are really happy. They come home, they come into the house, they crawl into my lap, and then they snore, and then I'm trapped because they're cats. And the international rule for cats is if they're in your lap and they're sleeping, then you're stuck until they wake up, right? You know that, right? All right. Well, I think I've rambled for long enough. Hopefully, I probably haven't actually solved anyone's problem. If you're thinking about it, it's like, I don't know what to do. You know, and I'm happy to work with people one-on-one to help you figure out what to do. If you really need to keep your cats inside, there are ways you can do it and keep their environment enriching enough that they're not going to miss going outside. There are toys and things that you can use to keep your cat happy and active. And, if indoor outdoor is the best option for you, then we can do that as well. So with that, I hope this was fun and interesting. I don't know. It's a weird day with the weather like it is. I kind of want to be an indoor outdoor person. It's hard to be inside right now because it's so beautiful outside today, and it's going to get hot soon enough because summer is on its way. But if you have any questions or interest in further advice, or you want to talk about any issues you might have with your cats, if you're interested in figuring out how to make their indoor life a little better, or make it safer for them to be indoor outdoor cats, or actually anything for that matter, I'm here. You can always message me. through the Cat Chat group or directly. For those of you who are watching on YouTube or on LinkedIn, you can always message me there. And I hope this little chat makes you feel a little better about how it's not actually a cut and dried thing. And please, everyone, take care of your cats. Give them lots of kisses. They deserve it. Well, actually, they say you shouldn't kiss your cats, but whatever. You all have a lovely, lovely rest of your week, and I will see you next week.